Hello and welcome to Clever Tips with Clever IT. Today we're actually going to be taking a look at Cortana in Windows 10, or Cortana, depending on how you pronounce it, potato, as it were. Cortana is essentially Microsoft's vocal or visual assistants, equivalent to Apple's Siri or Google Now in the Android operating system, but it is now baked into Windows as of Windows 10. So a couple of things that we're going to look at first and foremost is, and this is sort of important because this is part of how you get into Cortana. You've got a couple of options here. You can click on the start menu and you can sort of get to it that way, sort of through apps, but we're not going to do it that way. The quickest way is to click here, search the web in Windows. The first time that you go in this, it's actually going to pop up and it's going to go through this and ask you, okay, is this something that you're interested in doing, setting up Cortana? So you have the option of saying not interested or clicking on next. So obviously, as we want to set this up, show you how it works, we're going to click on next. So before it gets started, it's going to ask you for some information, okay? And this information, let's be clear, Cortana is going to collect information about you and what you do in order to get to improve how it understands what you want, to anticipate certain things. It's all very AI and Terminator, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and do it because we have trust in the computer. So it's going to ask for a name or a nickname. Well, my name is Moyes, which you may or may not know. So I'm going to put in my name, Moyes, which is not spelled phonetically. So it's going to throw you off immediately. Once you click on next, now it's going to sort of give you a bit of a precursor. Okay, these are some of the things that you can do. Send an email. You can do math equations. You can ask it to turn on an alarm. And there's a lot more that you can do. We're not going to get into that today. What we're really just sort of focusing on is getting it set up and doing a couple of little tweaks for you, all right? So it asks you, does it look familiar? All your interest is here, ready for you, got it. Now you can also customize this by going into Get Interest, and then it's going to ask you to select a bunch of other stuff here, things that interest you, okay? But at the end of the day, we're just going to not do that for now, okay? What we are going to do, though, is we are going to go into the settings. So let's just do this. Let's click here. Because we haven't acknowledged this yet, we got to sit and hit got it, and that's sort of it. So now Cortana knows what it is that we want to do. But what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're actually going to make a couple of setting changes here. So in the settings, this is actually where you can do something very cool, which is allow the computer or Cortana to respond to Hey Cortana, okay? So we're going to turn that on. You can customize this so that it will respond to anyone, or if you want to sort of set it to just learn your voice, you can do that as well, okay? We're going to leave it as is to respond to everyone, all right? So what that means now is that if we close this, we should be able to say the magic words and it's going to work. Now we're going to test that out here. It didn't work so well here a minute ago, but let's see if we can get a little bit closer and see if this works. Hey Cortana. What's 2 plus 2?
The answer is 4.
So you see that's sort of some of the things that you can do here, which is really, that's pretty minute. But another thing that we can do, hey Cortana, what's the weather today?
The forecast shows mostly cloudy skies with a high of 71 and a low of 52.
Now, this is something that's interesting, and we'll have to look into this a little bit more to find out why this is occurring, is that you'll see, despite the fact that I have chosen Celsius in the weather app, it is still using Fahrenheit here. Now that could be linked to Bing, and that might be why. But we'll take a look into that and see if we can post an explanation in the comments or in a follow-up video. But that's how you basically configure Cortana to be able to respond to your voice, and it works very, very well. And there's a lot of things that you can do. We actually have an old Surface tablet in our home, sitting in the kitchen, set up with Cortana to be able to do certain things like this. So we can tell it to start playing music. We're hoping eventually, as it gets more into home automation, we'll be able to link it in with our Nest thermostat and be able to control the temperature in the house, which is obviously going to be very important, especially for our very cold winters. So that's going to be great to play around with as well. But it's not quite there yet, but it still is working very well. That's it for today's tip. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.